Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. What a beautiful morning this is. Welcome to our groundbreaking ceremony for the Tuskegee Airmen Memorial here at Davis Airfield at the Air Force Academy. My name is Mark Hilley. I have the honor of serving as the CEO of our Association of Graduates and the Air Force Academy Foundation. Before we begin this morning, a few introductions. Unfortunately, the short time permits me to introduce only a small number of the many distinguished individuals with us here today. First, we're honored to be joined by our ceremony's presiding official, the 22nd Superintendent of the United States Air Force Academy, Lieutenant General Tony Bauernfein, class of 1991. Sir, good to have you here. We also welcome Lieutenant General retired Sam Cox, class of 1984, Vice President of Air Force Systems at the Boeing Company and former Commandant of Cadets here at our Academy. The Commandant said you're the second finest Commandant to ever. And we're honored to be joined by Mr. Charles Phillips, class of 1981, and his spouse Karen, the lead contributors for this project. Mr. Phillips is a long-serving founding director of the Air Force Academy Foundation, and they're both generous donors to our Air Force Academy. Thank you for being here. Finally, it is a very special honor to welcome 5 individuals representing the Tuskegee Airmen and their heritage. First, Tuskegee Airman Colonel James Harvey. Seated next to him, Miss Peggy Shivers, wife of late Tuskegee Airman Lieutenant Colonel Clarence Shivers. And Miss Shirley Edwards, wife of Air Trainee Randolph Edwards. Also with us, Mr. Leon Butler, Jr., class of 1991, President of the Tuskegee Airmen Organization, and Miss Gabrielle Martin, Colorado Chapter President. Thank you for being here. This morning's ceremony marks an important milestone in a project that has long been imagined here at the entrance to Davis Airfield. This airfield was named after General Benjamin O. Davis in 2019, and shortly thereafter, a vision emerged to mark the entrance to the airfield with 2 iconic static displays representing the past and the future of air power. And in doing so, to honor the heritage of warfighters past, those who served and sacrificed in defense of this nation. It makes sense to honor one of General Davis's most renowned commands, that of the 332nd Fighter Group, the Red Tails, with a static display of the iconic P-51, one of the most memorable aircraft flown by the Tuskegee Airmen. As members of the 332nd, the Tuskegee Airmen served bravely and with distinction in the European theater in World War II. As part of the 15th Air Force, the men of the 332nd completed more than 15,000 combat sorties. Members of the unit received 8 Purple Hearts, 14 Bronze Stars, 4 Distinguished Unit Citations, and an incredible 96 Distinguished Flying Crosses. In all, 66 Tuskegee Airmen made the ultimate sacrifice, giving their very lives in defense of our freedoms. Beneath the P-51, we will honor and highlight the heroism and achievements of the Tuskegee Airmen in displays arrayed around a double V for double victory and surrounded by the plaza. Alongside the P-51, we will be proud to mount the first ever display of the Air Force's new trainer, the Boeing T-7A Red Hawk, carrying the same red tail. Some of those young men and women on the flight line just behind us, or above us in the air, I'm not seeing any quite yet, and many more in generations to come, will earn their wings in the T-7, just as the Tuskegee Airmen did decades ago. This legacy of service modeled by the Tuskegee Airmen and carried forward by our future airmen gives us reason today to reflect on both those freedoms that we share and those that we defend. Before inviting forward our host for this ceremony today, I want to just say a final thanks to the many donors who have made this project possible. First, again, to Charles and Karen Phillips. Thanks so much for your vision and leadership in making this project possible. To the Boeing Company and to General Cox, thank you for your ongoing partnership and generosity. And finally, to three classes who have joined the fight. The classes of 1986, 1990, and 1996, who as part of their reunion gifts have helped make the vision for this project a reality. Now I invite forward the Superintendent of the Air Force Academy, Lieutenant General Tony Bauernfeind.
Good morning, all. How are we doing this wonderful morning? Outstanding. I just want to start by saying thank you to our Association of Graduates for continuing to provide such amazing support to our incredible institution. Because at the end of the day, our responsibility remains on forging those leaders of character that are prepared to step forward and lead our Air Force and Space Force in very uncertain times. Thank you to all our distinguished guests who have joined us here today, as well as your continued support. And then finally, to our special guests, members and representatives of the Tuskegee Airmen. Thank you for coming today and representing. And it does my heart good to know that Bold Gold is right here in representation. But Colonel Harvey, I meant it when we met. You do our academy and this ceremony and this memorial an absolute honor by joining us today. And we are forever indebted to your example, your combat heroism, and your service. Thank you, sir. And as we talk about this amazing opportunity, I hope that you have seen as you've come on the grounds of the United States Air Force Academy that our number one priority is to forge warfighters to win. Warfighters to win. And to instill a warrior ethos in every single member of our current academy and our future leaders. And there is no better examples to motivate and inspire our future than having a memorial to the Tuskegee Airmen right here at the Benjamin O. Davis Airfield, where his leadership displayed great bravery and perseverance, and where the entire Tuskegee Airmen, whether it was in the 332nd or the many other units that moved forward, came forward to demonstrate excellence, to demonstrate absolute tactical precision, and to protect our great country. And as we move forward to meet our intent to develop lethal warfighting teams to defend this great nation, I am absolutely honored and inspired to know that we will have this memorial that we will drive past daily to help remind us of those incredible giants that paved the way for all of us and on whose shoulders we now stand. Thank you again, and please, let's continue the ceremony.
Thank you, General Bauernfeind. This project today would not have been possible without the generous partners that we have at the Boeing Company, who's not only provided support for this project, along with funding the T-7A Red Hawk model, and we're grateful for their initiative in all of this. I now invite forward Lieutenant General Retired Sam Cox, class of 1984.
Thank you very much. Before I start, one of the things that sadly happened this week was the passing of Lieutenant Colonel George Hardy. Right, we had an opportunity to spend some time with him at the rollout of the T-7 in St. Louis in April of 2022. If we could have just a brief moment of silence for Lieutenant Colonel Hardy. Thank you. Now, I know he would not want us to be sad about that. He lived 100 years. If I remember right, he was the youngest pilot at 19 years old when he joined the Tuskegee Airmen. He would want to be here and celebrate with all of us as we do this. As I reflect on being here in this ground, it's been a decade and a half since I was a Commandant of Cadets. And I got to tell you, that was by far the best assignment I had in the entire time I was in the Air Force. It was because you had 4,000 plus 18 to 25 years old who really had worked hard to get into the academy, worked hard to get through the academy, and then it was on the other side of that, they were going to go do something bigger than themselves. And back then it was just to the Air Forces, now to the Air Force and Space Force. 8 decades ago, there was a group of black pilots, black mechanics, support personnel, these Tuskegee Airmen that defied the prejudice of their time and went off to prove something, a simple truth, that excellence has no color. And they fought 2 battles, one war overseas, tyranny abroad, and then at home with discrimination. They didn't just prove that excellence has no color. They excelled at everything they did. Mark Hilly talked about all the awards and accolades that happened with the Tuskegee Airmen. They made our team better. They made us more operationally effective. That's what the Tuskegee Airmen did. I had a chance to go to Normandy on the 6th of June this year to celebrate the 81st anniversary of that and see the sacrifice that happened with those folks that charged the beaches of Normandy. And we've never seen sacrifice what happened then and what happened with the Tuskegee Airmen and all those bombing missions that they led. We haven't seen that since that time. But we can't forget that, right? And so Boeing is really proud to be a part of this entire endeavor. And Mark talked about the fact that there's going to be a P-51 and a T-7 and those red tails that it represents. Back in that time, the P-51 was the best aircraft they could use to do the bomber escort. Recently, the Boeing Company was awarded the F-47 contract. So that's the first 6th generation aircraft that'll lead into the future. But today we're talking a little about the T-7, which is going to be, it is the most advanced trainer that's going to solve the problems with the Air Force's pilot inventory and get the totals up that they need. That's the future. But so when those aspiring pilots go out onto the flight line and they're going to see that T-7 with the red tails, they're going to know the history of the Tuskegee Airmen, and they're going to remember that. And so when they go in there, they're going to hear the voices of the Tuskegee Airmen, and those voices are going to say things like, hey, grit and determination are going to help you on your journey, because it did with ours. There's no obstacle that can't be overcome, because we have and we did. They're going to hear voices like that over and over and over, and they're going to get inspiration to succeed because of what the Tuskegee Airmen did and everything that red tail represents. So today we're going to, it'll be the 2 airplanes and a facility that's going to eventually be done. And it's going to be where stories are told, dreams are going to be born, and probably more importantly than anything else, it'll be the recording forever of the accomplishments of the Tuskegee Airmen that we'll never forget. So the Boeing Company is very proud to be a part of this entire thing and all that it represents. And so thanks, Mark, for allowing us to be part of it. Thank you.
Thank you, General Cox. Every project we do has this moment where you encounter a need for a lead contributor. Individuals who step forward and say, on our watch, this is going to happen. And they set the pace for everybody else. We're delighted that Charles and Karen Phillips have agreed to set that pace and make this project and this day possible. So it is with pleasure that I invite Charles Phillips forward to provide some remarks. Sir.
To our distinguished guests and members of the Long Blue Line, and most importantly, Colonel Harvey and honored Tuskegee Airmen and their families, thank you for being here. To Mark Hillier, you did a lot of work to make this happen as well. Lieutenant General Cox, thank you as well. Today we break down on more than a sculpture. We commission a memory and honor excellence and determination. When America called in its hour of need, the Tuskegee Airmen answered, first with courage, then with excellence, so undeniable that it pierced the clouds of doubt and prejudice. In red-tailed Mustangs arcing over your skies, they wrote a chapter of American history that could never be again edited out. Their contrails traced a promise that talent, discipline, and devotion to mission know no color, nothing but Air Force blue. The catalyst for a separate training site for black pilots stemmed from a lawsuit brought by a Howard University student named Nancy Williams, who simply wanted to fly. These airmen did not begin with the benefit of a warm welcome. They began with the burden of proving that they belong in the very nation they swore to defend. In training fields ringed by skepticism, they mastered the unforgiving arithmetic of combat, airspeed, altitude, discipline, and trust. And in the crucible of war, they turned that skepticism into respect, and that respect into a standard. As you heard earlier, they flew over 15,000 combat sorties, earned over 850 medals. In 2007, 300 of these brave men received the Congressional Gold Medal of Honor. Because of them, cockpits opened wider, hangar doors swung on new hinges, and it is fitting that this memorial will be at the United States Air Force Academy, where we teach the next generation not only how to fly, fight, and win, but why. Our core values, integrity first, service before self, and excellence in all we do. To our cadets, when you pass this monument as you return from the airfield during your always hurried day, let it interrupt you. Think about it. Let it ask a few hard questions. Are you training to standard or to the standard they set? Are you using your wings to lift those around you? To the Academy leadership, may this statue remind us that excellence requires that merit thrives where opportunity is real, and that our Air Force is strongest when every young American who dreams of flight can find a place to learn, to try, and to lead. I listened to stories of my grandfather-in-law who worked on the flight line at Tuskegee. And my own father spoke of reverence for the Tuskegee Airmen through his 20-year enlistment in the Air Force. And I had the good fortune of meeting several of you during my time as a cadet. I passed those stories on to my son who served as well. I may not look like it, but most weekends I'm riding a motorcycle. And on the back of it is not a Harley or Indian motorcycle. It's the red tails on the back of my jacket. On this day at this academy, we dedicate break ground with pride and purpose. We will remember you, what you overcame. The cadets will inherit what you achieved. And we will advance what you began. I encourage every cadet to aim high, just like you did. Thank you.
Thank you, Charles. Please don't go very far. Now it is time to do the honors. Please come forward and join General Bauernfein, General Cox, and Jamie Burgess to turn the dirt officially and get this project started.
Begin whenever you're ready.
Ready?
Can we get these two pulled out too? Yes. There we go. Great.